There's a new proposal on the table, folks, and it's a big one. We're talking $4,850 one-time payments directly into the pockets of Social Security recipients. Yes, you heard that right. This ain't no late-night infomercial scam. This is a serious policy discussion happening right now in Washington, and it's got everyone talking. This proposal is a lifeline. It's about acknowledging the very real struggles of millions of Americans, people who rely on Social Security to survive, people who worked their whole lives, paid their dues, and now deserve to live with dignity. But here's the catch, folks. Washington is like that friend who always forgets their wallet. They're great at making promises, not so much at delivering. So while the excitement is real, so is the skepticism. Can they actually pull this off? Will this money actually reach the people who need it the most? We're all holding our breath. Because for millions of Americans, this isn't just about a one-time payment. It's about hope. It's about the promise of a better tomorrow, a future where they don't have to choose between medication and groceries, where they can afford their prescriptions without cutting corners, where they can enjoy a meal without worrying about the next bill. This proposal has the potential to bring both sides of the aisle together, to show that at the end of the day we can come together for the greater good, but it also requires us to stay vigilant, to hold our leaders accountable, to ensure that this isn't just another empty promise. Because for many, this is a matter of survival. It's about making sure that the golden years are truly golden. So let's keep the conversation going. Let's keep the pressure on. Let's make sure that this glimmer of hope turns into a beacon of change. Because for millions, this isn't just about money. It's about dignity, respect, and a brighter future. It's about ensuring that every American, regardless of age, can live with the peace of mind they deserve. So as we watch and wait, let's remember what's at stake. This is more than a proposal. It's a promise of hope. And for many, it's a promise worth fighting for. Let's face it, folks, we're living in a world that's constantly evolving and not always for the better. Social Security, that grand old safety net, is starting to look a little threadbare. It's been a reliable source of income for millions, but cracks are beginning to show. Remember when gas station bathrooms used to be free? Yeah, me neither. Point is, things change. Life gets more expensive. The cost of living is rising and it's hitting our seniors the hardest. And Social Security benefits? Well, they haven't quite kept up. The checks that once covered the basics now barely stretch to meet the essentials. We're living longer, yay, modern medicine. But with longer lives come longer retirements, and that means more years relying on Social Security. But that also means more people are drawing on Social Security for longer periods. The system wasn't designed for this kind of longevity. Add to that a shrinking workforce and you've got yourself a recipe for, well, not a delicious cake, that's for sure. Fewer workers mean fewer contributions to the Social Security Fund, more like a dry, flavorless biscuit. It's not just unappetizing, it's unsustainable. The system, my friends, is feeling the strain. Overworked staff, endless paperwork, and a backlog of claims are just the tip of the iceberg, and so are the people who depend on it. Our seniors deserve better. They deserve a system that can keep up with the times and provide the support they need. It's time for a change. We need to rethink, reform, and revitalize Social Security to ensure it can meet the needs of today's and tomorrow's retirees. Because at the end of the day, a society is judged by how it treats its most vulnerable. Let's make sure we pass that test with flying colors. Let's talk real-world problems, shall we? Groceries, rent, the essentials that keep us going every day. Those little pills your grandma needs to, keep on living. They aren't cheap, and the prices seem to go up every year. These things cost money. And for a lot of folks on Social Security, those monthly checks just ain't cutting it. The cost of living keeps rising, but those checks, they stay the same. Imagine this, you worked your tail off for decades, paid your taxes, played by the rules. You did everything you were supposed to do, thinking you'd be taken care of in your golden years. Now you're retired and you have to choose between buying groceries and filling your prescriptions. It's a heartbreaking decision that no one should have to make. That's the reality for many seniors right now. They sit at their kitchen tables, staring at their bills, wondering how they're going to make ends meet. And don't even get me started on unexpected expenses. Car repairs, medical emergencies, these things can happen out of nowhere and they can be devastating. A sudden hailstorm that decides your roof is its personal drum set. Now you need a new roof, but where's that money going to come from? It's enough to make you want to pull your hair out. The stress, the worry, it all adds up. But hey, at least you saved on that haircut because, groceries or something. It's a small consolation in a world where every penny counts. Despite all these challenges, many seniors find ways to cope. They garden, they take walks in the park, they find joy in the little things, they volunteer, they spend time with their grandchildren, they do what they can to make the best of a tough situation. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about surviving, it's about living. And even when Social Security checks don't cover the bills, many seniors find a way to keep on living. Remember when a dollar could actually, buy you things? Pepperidge Farm remembers. But inflation doesn't discriminate. It gobbles up the value of your savings like a hungry, hungry hippo at a marble convention. Inflation is relentless, and it doesn't care about your fixed income. And when your income is fixed, like it is for many on Social Security, inflation feels like a punch in the gut. It's a constant struggle to make ends meet. Every price increase, every extra cent at the pump, it all adds up. The cost of living keeps rising, but your Social Security check stays the same. So, while politicians pat themselves on the back for those tiny cost of living adjustments, the reality is they ain't keeping pace with the real world. These adjustments are like a drop in the ocean. It's like trying to put out a forest fire with a squirt gun. The efforts are commendable, but they fall short of addressing the real issue. The reality is harsh. Many seniors are left to make tough choices, cutting back on essentials just to get by. It's a heartbreaking situation. The promise of Social Security was to provide a safety net, but with the eroding value of the dollar, that net is full of holes. It's time for a real solution. We need our leaders to step up and address the root causes of inflation. It's not just about adjustments, it's about real impactful change. Until then, communities and families must come together to support our seniors because every dollar counts now more than ever.